What is going on, everybody? It is episode 922 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and it is indeed episode 922 of Pop Culture Crisis. I am here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Thank you for the Crisis Party. I have to read these Superchats. First from Shane H. Wilder. Happy Wednesday, Brett and Mary. Great interview, Mary. I enjoyed the theological takes. You were close on that quote. It was Francis of Assisi, not De Sales. It did sound like something from De Sales' introduction to the devout life. That was from my first of two interviews with Tammy Peterson that came out yesterday. I have posted it on both X and my Instagram story. But on Bash sent us the Crisis Party. Just sub to All That Remains YouTube channel. I'm not that into speed metal, but there's some good stuff there. Tell Tim to use this to treat Phil to a nice meal.
We can do that.
We can tell him to. It doesn't mean that he will.
Exactly. If you guys don't know what that is, and I did see somebody mention it the other day, they said, like, how do you get a crisis party? So every time we get $100 in super chats, it sets off what you just saw, which is, of course, a crisis party where then Mary dances and I try to not be scared by the loud noises. So that's how that happens. And we've been getting them quite a bit lately. So thank you guys so much for that. What I'd also like you to do, please, is hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. We need people to subscribe, right?
I mean, yeah. We never don't need them to
subscribe.
Like,
we need you to subscribe to the channel if you're new
helps.
here, and also make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel just to make sure that YouTube is not pulling any funny business. You know, they admit to censorship over here, maybe, and they're still doing funny business over here. Who knows? So just make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. Also, remember to share this episode and all of these segments out with your friends, your family, your loved ones, people in your life that you both love and hate. I'm sure there are at least a couple of people you don't like that you could share this with. Then when you're done, you should go down and argue about whatever we're talking about in the comments section to help increase our engagement. It's part of my master plan. So I'd like you to go do that, and then I want to tell you about what we're talking about today, which is, of course, the Savant, which I did not get to be here for the discussion on before. I was out of town when everybody was talking about the Savant, which is an Apple movie starring, I almost said Apple TV. I guess it is Apple TV. It's an Apple TV movie.
It's not a movie. It's a series.
It's a series. It's an 8-episode series?
Yeah.
Okay.
Limited series, I believe.
Starring Jessica Chastain, which is based on a 2019 Cosmopolitan article about preventing terrorism before it happens. And it is, of course, the ultimate white female Karen power fantasy. It has been canceled, or at least, postponed by Apple, regarding everything in the culture right now politically. They put it on pause. Jessica Chastain has made her comments about it, and other people are writing think pieces about how not releasing it is a mistake. Also, it's fair to point out that maybe it's the fact that this TV show inspired one of the most recent meme templates that you could ever see. If you spend any time on X, there is a meme that was going around with Jessica Chastain looking at a computer that made it very easy to dunk on. So we're going to talk about that. We are also going to follow up with the return of Jimmy Kimmel. He's back. And he's crying once again.
He's crying and lying.
I'm sure a lot of people on Polymarket made a lot of money
Trump
because they
needs
did.
to call him Crying Kimmel.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's like, yeah, I do cry. I'm a man. I'm in touch with my feelings. So we're going to talk about him returning. He had Gavin Newsom on. We'll talk a little bit about the monologue. We'll talk about the fact that they don't know how to tone down their rhetoric. And Robert De Niro, who is proof positive that the number one casualty of like default Hollywood leftism is that jokes are not jokes and you're just not funny. So we're going to talk about it. Also, Henry Cavill has angered the feminists once again. They are having their own Sydney Sweeney / Margot Robbie debate about whether Henry Cavill is or is not, in fact, mid.
He didn't even do anything this time. He just posted a selfie with his dog.
Guy just goes, he builds computers and he posts selfies and you just hate him for it. He's also injured right now, which makes you ableist, you bastards.
He's injured?
Yeah, he got injured on this filming The Highlander. So filming is currently postponed right now because of his injury. So you're making fun of a hurt man, and frankly, I'm offended by that. So we're going to talk about that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you are ready, Mary, we can just go. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think we're ready.
Let's go for it.
Simon Cowell recently appeared on Jennifer Hudson's show, and what they do on Jennifer Hudson's show with their guests is having them walk out to this hallway full of her crew, hyping you up as you, I guess, sort of dance or clap your way down to the set.
I remember a tweet last year that said, this is a humiliation ritual,
It definitely
It has humiliation ritual vibes.
It feels humiliating. You know, some people do really well with it and others crack under the pressure. And it looks like Simon Cowell just didn't really know what to do with himself. In this video, a lot of people were pointing out that he doesn't really even seem able to clap his hands. And they're wondering what the hell is going on with him. So
here we go.
Let's look.
In the tunnel, he's walking down. In the JGT right now.
He's like clapping like this.
We gotta show him love. Simon and Jay has show. In the tunnel, he's walking down. AGT right now. Simon and Jay has, we gotta show love.
Okay.
In the tunnel, he's walking
So he was.
Okay, that went kind of hard. Let give the guy a break.
He was kind of clapping like a T-Rex, as many people pointed out, and I don't know why, but it got like hundreds of millions
it's
of
kind
views
of like,
collectively on X.
When the Lonely Island did the video with was it Nicki Minaj called The Creep, where she's like this, where the guy's going like this the whole time.
So I was reprimanded for wondering what was wrong with his movements by many replies pointing out he suffered a severe electric bike accident that broke his back and damaged his spine. Admiring his recovery instead of mocking his appearance or movements would be super cool. So you're not allowed to ask any questions.
It takes $0 to be kind.
Yeah, but the questions that remain are about Simon Cowell's face, not his hands.
Yes.
Because he looks unrecognizable from his former self.
Here's a before and after.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of work done. I mean, just on the surface, he's got a spray tan. That much is evident. But on top of that, lots of fillers, lots of Botox. He's also gotten veneers since he was in the public eye more often. He was known as the quintessential a-hole of American Idol. But
back when being an a-hole didn't have to be on racial or gender lines, there was a time where it was actually not the norm, where your anger or your meanness was ascribed to like a political ideology or racism or sexism. Believe it or not, it was actually a meritocratic process that you could just be a dick.
Yeah.
And you were a dick to everyone, and everyone just assumed it's because you were genuinely just a mean person, not because you had hatred for one particular group. Those were better times.
he was applauded
in
for
America.
it. But yeah, it's weird because none of his facial features have really moved up. They're still drooping down, and there's just filler drooping his face down even more than it otherwise would with age.
I thought it seemed like 'cause he's already got like the angular eyes that are slanted like down, like
He has
kind
a
of
negative
crescents.
canthal tilt.
And so it's like the fillers have pushed it up a little bit, and they're kind of meeting halfway, and it's like a poor use of space.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, don't get me wrong.
not a great look for him.
He
would have
all he had to do was get the beard.
He would have looked better if he just left his face alone all these years. We have a 20 from Alejandro Reyes. YouTube would never censor you despite being suspected to have for years, admitting the government has. I assure you they are better than that. Any suggestion otherwise is a ban-worthy conspiracy theory.
Given given the reach we got on our video about the topic, I'm going to just not comment at all.
Yeah, we're not going to go there today. But this was prompting some replies like this one. I'm convinced someone's murdered Simon Cowell and is now prancing around, pretending to be him, wearing his skin. Another one said, I think I actually have a phobia of Simon Cowell. Why does he look like that? And Zac Efron has gotten similar comments for a recent campaign with Prada that unfortunately got edited into oblivion. He doesn't actually look like this in real life. But he kind of brought this on himself because
He looks like the villain in a telenovela.
yeah, he kind of like race swapped himself with all the spray tan. And
So
he
what
did
did
bring
they
this
do
on
to
himself
this?
because Zac Efron has gone way overboard with the fillers in the past. He did end up reversing a lot of the work that he had done, and he started to look human again. He started to be recognizable again. But still, these images are spreading.
But this is fake, right? This image here is fake.
particular
Yes.
image,
No,
yes,
we're not.
is
No fake news here.
Much
it is
like
fake.
the image of Miley Cyrus promoting Gucci, it wasn't a real image, but she does definitely look very different than she used to because of the work she's gotten done. In this other photo, I think they're comparing him to a character in Shrek.
Ooh.
And this last video pointing out Zac Efron's transformation, I wanted to show.
Okay. It does community note it down below here.
It says, this is an AI-created fake ad made by the Celeb Talk Girl, a content creator known for making viral fake celebrity images.
When was the last time you saw Zac Efron? Why do I ask? Because he's in a Prada ad.
Creepy
And when this
music.
Prada ad came out,
The music matters. The
Yeah.
music matters.
It adds
we're
to
not
the ambiance.
normally when you see something like this, they've got that kind of generically upbeat sound that sounds like it's from a drug ad, right?
people were just in shock. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at this. Who is that? Is that Zac Efron? Just look
That
at
one
these
is even
photos.
worse.
They are not AI. That is Zac Efron today. So the question needs to be asked. Has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? Like I say, I understand people can age, but this was Zac Efron not too long ago. And now, this is what
It needs to become its own version of the Chad meme.
I
Zac Efron looks like today. Just have a look at 2017 Zac Efron versus 2025 Zac Efron.
Well, you know, he was probably
You
hitting
see the differences? More side-by-sides. This is 2021 Zac Efron, 2025 Zac Efron. So as you can see by the headlines, everyone's freaking out about this viral Zac Efron Prada ad. But is it actually real?
That one's even
the answer
worse.
is yes.
The answer is
Rumors
not
are now
yes.
circulating all over social media that Hollywood has officially claimed another celebrity.
Did they replace him?
I want to know whose grandpa this is.
Yes.
And what is he doing with his free time?
I love it.
He's like, you know, on a fixed income, gets bored in the house and just wants to make conspiracy
Yeah.
videos about
I'm
celebrities.
kind of here for it.
Go
look,
off.
Look, so Zac Efron, what was it? He did Baywatch in 2017, probably. So he had to probably hit the gym and the TRT and the Tren
But
hard.
also the Juvederm.
And then he did Iron Claw in 2023, so he
Yeah.
had to hit the TRT extra hard for that. And then Prada comes calling, and you're like, look, if I got to get a couple of facial injections.
His face looked very different in the Iron Claw.
yes.
And that required
that
no
was
AI.
no, and that was on purpose.
Was he playing a character that had
He was
cosmetic
one of the
work?
Von Erichs, so they were just like he was just trying to look more like one of the Von Erich brothers. I don't remember which one he was playing.
But in real life, those people didn't have fillers in their cheekbones.
No,
and
no, they
lips.
did not.
I don't think
now I wanna
that's
find-
convincing anybody. Yeah, I mean, I think that the AI images are taking advantage of the fact that, you know, people like Zac Efron and Simon Cowell have already messed up their faces enough.
Yeah, they have. Like it's all AI images of him that people are showing for these things. I can't tell when this one is.
Yeah, but it's
from.
like what I'm saying is like the real thing is bad enough. You can just put an actual side by side of these celebrities, and you can tell that
Here he is. This
they've messed
says
their faces up.
3/13/25.
This is a new image.
This is from this year, earlier this year, but this
Okay.
year.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, people were saying that he looked human again.
He does. Like
He
I haven't
undid
seen any.
whatever it was that he did to himself.
Yeah. You gotta lay off that stuff. And it's for
Vanessa Hudgens looks great for her age.
and so does Miranda Cosgrove. How old is Miranda Cosgrove now?
About like 31 or
Okay.
2, probably.
All Simon Cowell had to do was just grow the beard. Literally, look at those photos. Just grow the beard.
Yeah, that's Keanu Reeves' secret.
That's the like literally the other day I was like filming. I was doing a skating thing and I had like a side there was like a side profile of me. I'm like, bro, your jaw is so weak. You better grow that beard even thicker. Like, you know, it is a hack.
No, you just need to mew.
Well, I mean, and then I was like, when I saw the video, I'm like.
Just mew.
I started like sticking my jaw out. I'm like, maybe I do need to do this a
You
little
gotta
bit.
enroll in Mogwarts.
I'm gonna have to get into Mogwarts if I'm gonna want to, fix that jawline there.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. And Simon Cowell didn't need to do that. All he needed to do is just grow the. All he had to do is grow the beard and get the spray tan, if that's what he wanted. He didn't need to do the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, even the spray tan, no matter who does it, if it's Trump or someone else, I also don't think that makes you look younger.
Yeah.
To get a spray tan, just makes your skin look more textured. Actually,
I wonder what it's like. I bet you it's like when he gets like off work, like the inside of his shirt collar is just like stained. Yeah, into oblivion. But Trump can just get a new shirt every day. Yeah, he just gets a new one every day. That's something that only the billionaires can afford.
Well, speaking of things aging poorly, how about we get into this next story? So Jessie Cave, who is known for playing Lavender Brown as a child star in the Harry Potter movies, has started an OnlyFans page as of March this year. And the consequences are not serving her well in her career.
And we did talk about this before.
Yeah.
When it was first announced.
When she announced the OnlyFans, she said that it was going to be non-sexual content, but
her hair.
more videos of her brushing her hair, styling her hair for people who are into that kind of thing. There are, in fact, hair fetishists.
Yep.
And it's kind of creepy that all these people who were introduced to her when she was a child are like getting off to weird fetish content made by her, but she was serving it up to them. And on top of just creating an OnlyFans page, she also started a Substack to pair with it that she now calls her OnlyFans Diaries. She has an OnlyFans diary entry every once in a while, and in one of the recent Substack posts, she revealed that she was barred from entry into a Harry Potter fan convention. She didn't say which one it was, but the Substack post is titled "Only Wingardium Nakediosa." And
I think my joke was ASIO unemployment check, but I'm gonna defer.
She says day 190. By the way, just creating a diary to go with your OnlyFans is the most art nerd shit.
Well,
ever.
so the first thing
But here's what she said.
The first thing it made me wonder is like, why not just do a Patreon?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
But it's
okay,
like
let me
more
rephrase.
recognizable if you
I
use
know
the
why.
OnlyFans.
Yes,
branding.
I know why.
It's been a hairy 6 months, she starts off. I've been an OnlyFans creator for 6 months, and I can hardly believe it. Back in January, I was so lost and afraid I didn't know how I'd pay my bills and if we'd be able to move into our new house, which was nowhere near ready for us. I found some notes from the weeks just before I launched. Is this an actual thing, my hair? Using the name Lavender Longhair, Lavender's Cave, fishnets, socks. Do I wear a mic? Do I undress? Do I get new bras? I have no nice bras. Is it empowering? What is empowering? Am I a liar? Pop-up backdrop, polka dots. My life changed with my new sleep apnea mouthguard. OnlyFans might also change my life. It's a huge relief to be 6 months down the line with our walls painted and carpets down. Toilets are working, the bunk beds are built, we have a van and nice curtains and shelves, and now we are settled in and ready to start again, all thanks to OnlyFans. But later in this post, she says, I found out that I didn't get booked for a Harry Potter convention recently, as I'm now doing OnlyFans. They explained it was because it's a family show and OnlyFans is affiliated with porn. This was baffling to me, as some actors who do conventions, most actors actually, have done TV and films in which they have done sex scenes and nudity. I'm just playing with my hair. I'm not upset about the prospect of no more Harry Potter conventions, though. There's going to be a new cast now, and it's a different time. Plus, I've done conventions for over 15 years and have enough photos and wizard memorabilia. But she does need the paycheck, though.
Yeah, what does the memorabilia have anything to do with it? It's more to do with the fact that you draw income from going to these events. And look, she's right about the hypocrisy about that. In a way, it is all branding, and that whether they like to admit it or not, like Hollywood approved HBO level porn is not the same thing as OnlyFans or Pornhub level porn, which to them are different things. They interpret it differently. One is considered art. The other one is considered not advertiser friendly. Is that hypocritical? Yeah, it is, but it's the nature of the consequences for the people who put these conventions on. I thought the most interesting part was like she actually like in her stream of conscious writing was like, is it empowering? Is it not empowering? Like, you're not even supposed to ask that question. You're supposed to just accept that it's empowering and move on.
Right, exactly.
Like, that was actually a moment of honesty. Yeah.
That's the party line of sex positive feminism, is it's empowering because a woman is doing it. Anything that a woman chooses to do is feminist. And empowering simply because she chooses to do it.
I wish you would have like given some examples of who the other people at these conventions were that have done like those types of scenes, because I couldn't think of any off the top
Emma
of my
Watson
head.
famously has refused for years to do roles that require sex scenes, nudity, drug use, anything of the sort, because of the legacy that she leaves as the actress who originally played Hermione.
Yep.
And now there's a new actual child actress playing her character. And they're right. The people organizing this convention were completely justified in telling her that she wasn't welcome, because not only was Harry Potter as a franchise considered family friendly, but it's had a new legacy with a new cast of child actors who shouldn't be associated with her current side hustle as a hair fetish content creator. Okay? So this is just kind of pathetic for her to even air it out, in my opinion.
I imagine that she will continue to make a decent living doing this.
Why couldn't she have just continued acting, though, is my question.
I mean, a lot of those actors, they didn't go on to like great lengths of success. From like even Ron didn't have the career that, like, even Harry didn't really have the career that everybody thought he was going to have. Though, to be fair, you know, being a child actor for that long, they didn't have to have any career. They could have merely retired. What's the meme was always like Ron got finished Harry Potter, bought a ice cream truck and retired. That's not true. He does still act, but a lot of those other actors, you know, went on to do other things. I know the dude who played Dean Thomas, was he the one who ended up in How to Get Away with Murder in the US here? But for the most part, you know, they were kids, and you have to be of a certain caliber to even continue to make a dent in that industry. Like,
yeah, I understand that it's competitive, but she had a great start to her career. There's no reason why she couldn't have continued.
Well, the thing is the conventions are a great source of income for people, like for people who work in like fantasy franchises or sci-fi. Convention circuits are a huge source of income for a lot of them. I'm actually surprised. My guess is that it wasn't drawing the income that it does for some of the other ones, because like if you're thinking long term about what's going to have more longevity for you, like you're going to be able to do those conventions forever. Like I still see updates all the time for like all the actors who were in Arrow back in the early 2010s still go to these like Heroes and Villains Fest and all of these conventions because they advertise them as both themselves and as the characters they played. And sci-fi conventions are a huge way for them to make income. So she must have been in a bad way to need money. That, like she said, she bought a new house.
Right.
She was like, she had like a point of purchase. There was a need right this moment to risk all of the future income. It's that, or she didn't think at all that it was going to, I mean, maybe she is that, like, that Hollywood has deluded them that much that they believe that just because it's put on their screen constantly in Euphoria. And my guess is that if Sydney Sweeney was invited to some sci-fi convention, I don't know has she done any sci-fi movies?
No.
She
Not
did it.
yet.
No, that's not true. She did
think
Madam
so.
Web. We'll call that quasi sci-fi superhero convention. She'll still get invited despite the fact that she did HBO porn. basically.
Right, and you're right that it's hypocritical, and that's something we were talking about yesterday in regard to Chris Briney, who plays Conrad Fisher in The Summer I Turned Pretty. He's in this mainstream Amazon show, and for extra money, he's literally selling porn on a subscription service. He's not on OnlyFans, but he's on something pretty close that caters to a female audience.
But no nudity, therefore it's fine.
I guess, yeah. I suppose that's where they draw the line.
Yeah. Okay, so Sonder in the chat is correct. It's not like Lavender Brown was a breakout role, but an agent, a manager.
Okay, for like an 11-year-old, yeah, that is a breakout
But
role.
I'm saying, like, once that's over, it's not like people are going to be like, oh, she's like, I played Lavender Brown in the Harry Potter movies. They're like, oh, I know the character. I don't remember you at all.
Right.
But, you got to have an agent. You got to have a manager, and that costs a lot of money.
I just saw Cillian Murphy shuts down Voldemort series casting rumor.
No. Maybe it's
over.
No, maybe
it's over.
No, maybe
Chat.
Maybe he's doing like some type of swerve where he's actually the character and he's just trying to like psych you out.
He said it's really hard to follow anything Ralph Fiennes does.
That's true. Ray Fiennes is great.
The man is an absolute acting legend. Good luck to whoever is going to fill those shoes. So I guess that's Cillian Murphy's way of saying it's not happening.
Or it's a double turn.
And it's actually going to be
gonna...
Tilda Swinton. Confirmed.
No, it's going to be Lavender Brown. It's going to be it's going to be Jessie Cave.
Is Jessie Cave going to play Voldemort?
I would support
the
that.
Gender swapped
Why not?
Voldemort. Well, speaking of another former Harry Potter child actor, it's been more than half a decade since Emma Watson has been working in Hollywood. Her last project was Little Women, which came out in 2019, and they wrapped filming on that at the end of 2018. And she's been in literally nothing since then. So I am confused why she is on a press run right now. She's doing tons of interviews. One of them was on the Jay Shetty podcast, where she was asked to comment on her political differences with Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. And in this interview, she says she doesn't let their political differences cloud her fond memories with J.K. Rowling. I hope people who don't agree with my opinion will love me, and I hope I can keep loving people who I don't necessarily share the same opinion with.
It is kind of fair to point out that this shouldn't be understated that 5 years ago, this statement wouldn't have been acceptable in Hollywood.
Well, it's still not acceptable for Twitter because here's one of the first replies. Neutrality in the face of oppression isn't compassion. It's siding with the oppressor. Okay, that's sure. That is Emma Watson showing more maturity than your average Twitter leftist who is not behind her in this statement.
Boy.
But yeah, I guess they're saying like retweets don't equal endorsements. So she did another interview with Hassan, I believe his name is Hassan Akkad. I don't know how to pronounce that, at The Hollywood Authentic. Again, not promoting anything. She's asked in this interview, what are you up to? What are you working on?
She's like, I just showed up.
And she's like, I've just been working really hard. I'm working on, actually, I'm not going to say what. Then people are like, well, when is it happening? What's going on? So I'm just going to say I'm working on something that I've never done before. So I feel like a person who's in the dark, stumbling around, looking for the edges of something and hoping.
She's vague booking.
It sounds like I'm trying to find a light switch, but it's good. And that's the process. That's the process of making things, isn't it? And they ask for a hint of what it is. She said, it's so funny. I think this is probably why I've been avoiding interviews in general. You're the only person I would agree to speak to. She's friends with the journalist. It's because I'm not on a linear timeline at the moment for anything. I'm really going, does this feel right? Do the stars align? I've gone super, super extraterrestrial, touchy-feely.
Is this like a Katy Perry arc she's on?
And then the interviewer says, I've always hated the question of what are you up to? No one needs to be up to anything, I believe. You don't need to have a job?
Here's the thing, though.
I know you don't need to have a job, but do you want to do anything with your life?
No, but here's the thing. Like, when people like that, she's actually kind of pining for what it's like for the person who has to go to a boring job every day. And then when people are like, what's up? It's like, nothing. Just, working, getting by. She wants that.
Her hiatus has been allegedly spent pursuing further higher education, and you said she's probably on the board of many charities.
Probably.
Which doesn't entail any actual work. But she said...
she was like a spokesperson for, what, like fashion companies and stuff?
I don't remember exactly.
She was.
She's probably like promoted Marc Jacobs perfume or something. But yeah, she agrees with the take that no one needs to be up to anything. But she says, I'm up to a lot of things, but I'm feeling this big resistance because even once you've done whatever that thing is that they've managed to get out of you that you're up to, then the minute you've told them that, it's like, well, what next? What are you going to do next?
I bet you should
Very difficult to be a person who's living in the present moment in this kind of context. I guess, as pretentious as it sounds, what I'm striving for at the moment, I want to speak more to a way that I'm being in the world as opposed to what I'm producing.
She could rival Kamala Harris with that word salad. You know what I bet she hates? You know, because remember, she was the one who married herself or said that she was in a relationship with herself.
That she's self-partnered.
I bet you she hated when she told everyone she was self-partnered. Yeah. They were like, so when are you having kids?
And then
so when you guys getting married? When are you getting married?
The interviewer then says, you don't have to justify your existence.
It's an interview. You literally do. It's part of the job of being interviewed is that they're asking questions and you're giving answers. You're giving justifications.
Well, this is why you get your friend to interview you. That's the other thing I feel pressure around, that I don't have a right to exist if I'm not being productive in a very specific way or contributing in a very specific way. Oddly, somehow, the less I try to do, the more I get done. I don't know how I would shape the distinction between effort and trying. Or maybe what I would say is, I'm caring and I'm present.
Okay, well...
Dude,
I don't know about all that.
What are you talking about?
It's like your stoner friend that gets really high and starts going into semantics, but sober and full of neurotic liberal energy.
So in the interview, she further talks about the weight of a public persona as burdensome and why she appears not to be in a rush to return to Hollywood. Here is her complaint, her whining about how soul-destroying she claims it is to not only film projects, but promote projects that she's in. The bigger component than the actual job itself is the promotion and selling of that piece of work, this piece of art. The balance of that can be quite thrown off. I think I'll be honest and straightforward and say I do not miss selling things. I found that to be quite soul-destroying, but I do very much miss using my skill set, and I miss the art. I just found I got to do so little of the bit that I actually enjoyed. The moment you get on a film set, you don't get very long for rehearsal, but the moment you get to talk through a scene, or I got to prepare and think about how I wanted to do something, and then the minute the camera rolls and getting to just completely forget about everything else in the world other than that one moment, it's such an intense form of meditation because you cannot just be anywhere else. It's so freeing. I miss that profoundly, but I don't miss the pressure. I forgot it was a lot of pressure. I did a small thing for a play just with my friends, and I was like, bloody hell, this is stressful. And that wasn't even for a real public audience or anything. I don't miss that.
Okay, so I think the first part of what she said, it actually kind of shines a light on one of the biggest issues in Hollywood, which is that none of them have real financial stake in any of the work that they do. So when you start getting into producing and funding your own projects, then the marketing gets real important. Suddenly you want to hawk your shit to anybody who will listen because the art matters, but so does making a return on your investment. It is important to be able to go out onto these press tours. This is why Tom Cruise is so good at his job. And which is why he can produce movies that cost gazillions of dollars. Granted, the last two Mission Impossible movies have lost money. But he goes and he asks these studios for a lot of money to make these movies. They give it to him, and he helps fund it himself as well, I'm sure. He gets a producer credit on all this. You know, he's got financial stake in whether the movie does well or not. And then what does he do? He goes out onto the interview circuit, and I remember reading this interview watching this interview with Chris Van Vliet, who is a wrestling podcaster, talking to AJ Styles, and AJ Styles turned it on him, and it was because he's been working in entertainment for like over a decade, and now he just does wrestling. He said, like, who's the most, like, the best interview you ever had, the most memorable one? He says, when I spoke to Tom Cruise, the way he looked at me, it was like the world melted away.
Like Ian Crossland.
Like it's like talking to Ian. When you're here, if you ever get a chance in person, I encourage you to have a face-to-face conversation with Ian. It's like the world disappears. He's paying attention to nobody but you. And Tom Cruise exudes that energy to every single interviewer that he speaks to. And there's a reason why that comes across so well to the viewer. It's not just because he's apolitical, or at least does his best to remain apolitical and like, look left, I'll take my Scientology right. He is very good at hawking his product to people because he's passionate about film and conveying what he's passionate about in film to you, the audience, because he wants you to have a good time at his movies. I don't get the feeling that Emma Watson cares whether I have a good time at her movies, and that's not her necessary. Not everybody's going to take that stance on it, but even just a lot of enthusiasm about your own work can shine through in a way. Especially when you avoid making it about a cause and something like that. If it's just like, look, I love the script. Me and the director had similar visions as to where this character would go. And I think that you as an audience will really enjoy what we've created. Now, that's not very complicated, but it is important. And it's not something that everyone can do. Certainly a lot of these artists don't seem to want to be able to do it.
Well, if you're actually as passionate as she claims to be about the art, selling it should be easy.
Yeah,
right?
It should. Theoretically, you should be so passionate.
You're only taking projects that you're passionate about, right?
Yep.
Why would it be hard to convince other people? Your passion for the project sells itself.
It's like,
does it not?
Who is the singer who, I forget which band he was in, who was talking about, like, I never understood the musicians who got sick of performing like their biggest song. Like, that's the song that bought me my house. That's the song that paid for my kids' college funds. I'm going to perform that song happily because theoretically you have a good relationship with it. And you're like, look what this song has done for me because you, the audience, connect with it. And I appreciate that viewpoint.
It's like some people end up resenting their own success almost. And maybe if Emma Watson feels like promoting movies is destroying her soul, you're right. One solution for that is having a financial stake in her project by being a producer on it.
Yeah.
But she also hasn't been doing any producing in Hollywood either.
I'm very surprised by that, honestly, given the fact that she was the face of like some fashion. I don't remember which one it was. But it was back, and we're talking back in like 2017, like, or even earlier, maybe. It might have been like when Bling Ring came out.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a great movie, actually, but it's a vibe. So yeah, I just wonder with people like Emma Watson and others, like, don't you get bored just thinking about yourself all day? Like, don't you want to...
You know who she needs to hang out with? Jaden Smith.
Do something with your life.
Her and Jaden Smith can figure out
I'm just
a lot
like,
of
what have you been doing for 5 years? What have you been doing? Pre-COVID is when she basically retired herself. And I know you don't have to work. You have enough money to live your life without working. But, I mean, you kind of have to if you don't want to go crazy.
Yeah. It was Burberry that she was the face of in 2009, all the way back then.
Oh, yeah, that's like...
Long time ago.
Long time ago. Well, I have a clap back from Dave Bautista, and I know it's not directed at Emma Watson, but it might as well be. Dave Bautista says, I don't want to hear people bitching, complaining, moaning, and groaning about making movies. He says, I'm just at that age and the point of my life where life is too damn short. I want to work with people I love and respect because I love this business. I love filmmaking. And if people don't want to be there, I don't want to be there with them.
Yep.
He says that he is no longer going to work with a-holes because it's absolutely awful, and he has hit the threshold in his career where he can be choosier about the projects he takes on and the actors who become his co-stars. I'm happy to be there. It's a love thing for me, and I'm passionate about it. I want to be there, and I want to make the most of it, so I don't want to hear people bitching about doing something that we're all fortunate enough to be doing and making.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Emma Watson was doing. She was just bitching, moaning, groaning,
I
complaining.
think part of it is also because he was in WWE for so long. Like, you know, it's a lot harder road physically to go down. Now he's like, am I really supposed to complain about this? Also, he's like a ride or die dude for like the people that he works with. Like when James Gunn got canceled, he was like,
Oh, really?
Everyone on Guardians
all
was
the
like,
way back in
everyone on
2018 or whatever?
Guardians was like, we're not doing it without him. Everyone on that cast was like that.
Well, of course they're going to come out swinging for someone who's suspected of
I believe
creepiness towards children.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Chris Pratt made any comments, but I would fall in line to believe that he also wouldn't have wanted to do it without him. But I can't say for sure.
20 from Shane H. Wilder. I can confirm I've talked with Ian, and when you talk to him, it's like you are the only one in the world who matters. I have a much older cousin who was paralyzed in an accident. Tom Cruise met him and made him feel the same.
Yep.
I think one problem with Emma Watson and maybe some of the other former Harry Potter child stars and maybe child stars in general is that they have just never had to interface with what we call the real world.
Yes.
And real adversity, and that can make someone go stir crazy and become very listless and identityless.
And they have no course in life.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you do then? You get a master's, and then you get another master's.
She
and
did
then
go to some fancy
go
college.
for a PhD, and then you go speak at the UN, and then you marry yourself. This isn't stuff that normal people do. I know Emma Watson doesn't look crazy. She looks like a relatively normal person, but she's got some issues, clearly.
There's also a difference.
She lives in a mental prison of her own making.
There is also a difference, at least in my opinion, fundamentally between television actors and movie actors, especially of like Batista and Emma Watson's caliber, meaning that Emma Watson has the Harry Potter money, Dave Bautista's got the Marvel money.
Yes.
He's made his money, right? But the television actors, they're kind of always looking for work. And I'm not even just talking about the guest stars. You know, like you'll go look at any actor that you've seen in a TV show. Look at like a Victor Garber who's been acting for like a gazillion years and he's in literally everything. I think I saw his star on the Canadian Walk of Fame, but I'm not 110% sure.
He's
Pretty
Canadian?
Sure. I believe he is.
Oh.
But Victor Garber, I'm talking about this. But their schedules are often 18 hours a day, 9 months out of the year. So they're working very long and they don't get the same level of recognition that the big name movie stars get. But they are closer to what would be considered blue collar if such a thing existed at that pay scale for them. Now, the blue collar workers in Hollywood would be the set builders and the people, the below the line
People
workers,
like
right?
Meghan Markle's dad.
Exactly. But the people who work on TV are probably closer to understanding what the average everyday person's plight is like rather than the people who are doing a big budget movie once a year and making a ton of money. Not to say that experience is still the same thing as what you or I will be living working a regular job, and even me and you don't work necessarily a regular job, but
it's closer.
It's closer to we work a closer to normal job than what a Batista does, which is still farther away from what a television actor does.
But credit where it's due to Emma Watson for not throwing J.K. Rowling under the bus entirely in that interview.
Yep. All right. What would you like to see, cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see the cringe first.
Cringe first? Okay.
All right. I honestly don't even... I cringed at first, but then I grew to love it.
Okay. There we go.
Things I never do. I'm in the kitchen cooking things she likes. We're real worldwide, breaking all the rules.
Bro, we're about to get copyrighted on this. This better be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Someday I wanna...
My wife, that girl like something off a poster.
That girl is a damn they say.
I'm telling you, there's going to be documentaries made.
Tell them, Greg.
I'm telling you, there will be documentaries made about Kids Bop one day. I know that that's not Kids Bop, but it's spiritually
It's homemade Kids Bop.
Spiritually, it's Kids Bop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never heard anything untoward about Kids Bop though.
That was something. I'm here for it though.
Tell them, Greg.
Like I said, last night I saw if you're my age, if you're old like me, you remember who Craig David was, who was very big in the late 90s, had a string of hits, generational talent, if you ask me. He did a song with JoJo, who like just got released from music jail, finally
Right.
being allowed to perform
Right.
her old songs. And I was just thinking about like what it must have been like for the 90s and because JoJo would have been like the mid 2000s, not even the 2010s, like the mid 2000s,
Really?
right? 2005
I
to
thought
2007.
JoJo was like 2003.
Okay, so early 2000s. So like we got the mid 90s
Yeah.
and the mid 2000s, and what did their record labels still call them up and be like, "You guys want to do a song together?" Like, how did these two people meet? How does this happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. All right, cue of the day. This one's from Dandemonium, Mio Army of Darkness cat comic.
What? I'm confused.
It's a kitty.
Is it a real cat?
That's a
Or is
real
it-
kitty. That's a painting.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize the cat was in the corner there.
Yeah.
It just
So is-
blended into the background.
We got to get Bruce Campbell up in this corner up here.
Very cute.
All right, let's move on.
Yesterday, Apple TV announced that they are indefinitely postponing the release of a new limited TV series called The Savant. And we talked about this series a couple of weeks ago when it was getting promoted and the trailer dropped. Let me just break it down for you if you haven't caught up. This show is starring Jessica Chastain, playing essentially a suburban leftist Karen who moonlights as a spy on online right-wing extremist forums in order to capture terror plots from the right wing specifically. And this is based on a real person. She was interviewed in a Cosmopolitan article years ago. And what I guess Apple doesn't want you to know is that the first terrorist that real Savant actually caught in real life, that is a Muslim terrorist. And you are not going to see that in the
That
Apple
was
version.
literally never going to happen.
You are never going to see that in the Apple TV series. But here was their statement yesterday. After careful consideration, we have made the decision to postpone The Savant. We appreciate your understanding and look forward to releasing the series at a future date, which has still not been set. And it's because, obviously, the entire premise of the show flies in the face of the reality we are living in, especially following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And allegedly, the shooting at an ICE facility earlier today.
Yeah.
So this show, when it was first announced, prompted a deluge of memes of Jessica Chastain staring at a blue computer screen in her office at home with her glasses, her gigantic glasses. And there were captions like, "Do you have this meme? Why is everyone talking about returning their shopping carts at the grocery store?" Essentially, this is a middle-aged suburban mom trolling through 4chan threads and right-wing Twitter, trying to corner the most dangerous young men in the country who've been radicalized into violence and hate crimes.
Of course.
Here were some of the responses to the news of this show getting pulled. How much do you want to bet the show had a Charlie Kirk character as its main villain? Now, I don't... Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I don't think that was actually part of the script.
Probably not.
But they would probably come up with a fictional version of a lot of right-wing podcasters or online voices that are idolized by the extremists she is targeting.
Correct.
Right? And maybe one of them had a resemblance to Charlie Kirk somehow. Another reply said, "Release the show as is. It's important for people to see the propaganda messaging that was going to be prior to reality messing with the plan." And I wonder if they are taking a pause to go back and change the script, do some deceptive editing about the plot.
No, I bet you they'll just postpone and release later.
Jessica Chastain has also responded to the news herself.
Yes.
And she says in this tweet, "I want to say how much I value my partnership with Apple. They've been incredible collaborators and I respect their team. That said, I wanted to reach out and let you know that we are not aligned on the decision to pause the release of The Savant. In the last 5 years since we've been making the show." 5 years for 8 episodes, bitch. 5 years for 8 episodes. That's the part that stood out to me. Sorry.
Stranger Things is like, those are rookie numbers.
That's
you need
crazy.
to get those numbers up.
In the last 5 years since we've been making the show, we've seen an unfortunate amount of violence in the United States.
I'm sorry, but boomer television supremacy. 9 months out of the year, 22 episodes.
Bring it back.
Every time.
The kidnapping attempt on Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the January 6th attack on the Capitol, the assassination attempt on President Trump, the political assassinations of Democratic representatives in Minnesota, the attack on Speaker Pelosi's husband, the assassination of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, the recent shooting at an ABC affiliate station in California, and over 300 school shootings across the country. These incidents, though far from encompassing the full range of violence witnessed in the United States, illustrate a broader mindset that crosses the political spectrum and must be confronted. I've never shied away from difficult subjects, and while I wish this show wasn't so relevant, unfortunately it is. The Savant is about the heroes who work every day to stop violence before it happens, and honoring their courage feels more urgent than ever. While I respect Apple's decision to pause the release for now, I remain hopeful the show will reach audiences soon. Until then, I'm wishing safety and strength for everyone, and I'll let you know if and when The Savant is released. So that last part kind of suggests she's not sure they're going to put it out at all, but
wait for season 2, coming just about the end of J.D. Vance's first term.
Here's the problem, though. She's saying these incidents of violence illustrate a mindset that crosses the political spectrum and must be confronted. I believe she is talking about extremist mindsets.
I noticed she didn't mention Brett Kavanaugh getting attacked. I noticed she didn't mention the riots that went on during Kavanaugh's...
Of course. Nothing that happened in 2020.
Nothing of enunciation.
But she's not addressing the fact that the show, The Savant, by all appearances from the promotional materials and the explanations, doesn't cover left-wing or Islamic terrorism at all. The entire thing is focused on right-wing extremism. And even a favorable review of the series will tell you that. One that was posted in Variety today, actually, saying that they disagree, saying Apple is making a huge mistake postponing The Savant in wake of Charlie Kirk's killing.
This article is hilarious.
So here is an author who watched the series already. It's clear that The Savant is precisely the type of show America needs right now. It looks at a sector of mostly white male individuals who believe that America belongs to them. Fueled by hate, bigotry, xenophobia, and misogyny, they talk cruelly and candidly online about enacting harm and violence toward individuals or others who they feel are unworthy of being in their country. Nowhere in the show does it mention Donald Trump's name, and other than depicting white nationalists in a negative light, The Savant is a straightforward, non-controversial character study and a well-paced thriller about one woman trying to stop domestic terrorism. So only someone coming from the extreme left perspective could say this is a non-controversial, straightforward thriller show, because here you admitted all of the terrorism she's stopping in the show is from radical right-wing bigots and white nationalists. None of the realistic threats that are being made. None of the threats that align with the examples Jessica Chastain laid out, right?
Even, I mean, there's even a bit of deceptiveness. Remember the Minnesota, the incident in Minnesota that was like a former employee of Tim Walz who thought he was like doing it for Tim Walz's benefit, right?
So unless the fictional modern day Savant character in the show is infiltrating Discord servers full of trans people who are trying to groom children and encourage violence against the cis, I don't want to hear that it's non-controversial and straightforward and unbiased. It's very clearly biased in the leftward direction.
And again, this I
Wouldn't have
point
been
this
made
out-
otherwise.
I point this out on IRL all the time, which is that there is the greatest tool that the media has to prevent the average everyday person who isn't political brained from learning about any of this stuff. It isn't even to lie. It's to just not talk about it. It's to just ignore the growing number of examples. Like literally, I showed it while you were explaining it earlier, but it's literally this meme. It's like on my way to have a minor disagreement with a liberal. Say what you want about it, but they won't talk about it. Like I said, their greatest tool is to just not discuss the things that counter their narrative. They even did this on Jimmy Kimmel last night. For all the talk of free speech that they have, there was nothing about Google and YouTube and the Biden administration, which if they were being intellectually honest about their so-called very, very recent turn to becoming free speech warriors, that would have come up as well. And you know what? Conservatives would have given them kudos for it. They would have said, look, thank you. Thank you for calling attention to both sides of this issue. Because you know what? I don't know if Trump and Brendan Carr and the FCC played a role in Kimmel. You know, the revolt from Nexstar and Sinclair certainly doesn't seem to point that way. But I'm willing to hear you out. And you're more willing to hear someone out when they will present an argument that proves that these are not one-sided issues.
Literally the same day.
But all the political
the
violence that we are seeing right now, in the especially in just the last couple of weeks, there's like Matt Walsh had a tweet today. It was like there have been 4 examples of left-wing political violence in just the last couple of weeks. Okay. It's intellectually dishonest to pretend like it is just white, straight men who have a problem with people being in their country against their will.
Literally the same day or the day before Jimmy Kimmel's return monologue, Google admitted openly that under pressure from the Biden administration, they were banning YouTube channels who were speaking out of turn on matters related to COVID-19 and elections. So if Jimmy Kimmel wants to be a free speech warrior, why would he not address that?
Look, it's not even that high of a bar. Bill Maher would. Bill Maher still has plenty of issues with the right, but he's willing to at least engage in conversations with people on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, like that conversation that Bill Maher had with Zachary Levi. When they were talking about vaccines. But yeah, this opinion piece went further and said, it seems that Apple TV is cowering to a presidential administration that appears to be more concerned with its own dialogue and viewpoints.
That is Savant. That is just a huge claim to make.
I mean, it's the same claim they made in another headline about The View. The View not commenting on Jimmy Kimmel proves Trump is winning his war on the press.
Like, they just throw that shit in there.
As the Savant suggests, if we continue to exist in vacuums, unwilling to hear and listen to others while using logic and sound facts, then we are part of the problem. The Savant succeeds because it holds a mirror up to present-day American society, reflecting back to us who and where we are currently. The medium of television is so beautiful because through its storytelling capabilities, it's able to reach people across all walks of life and connect with varied perspectives, allowing us to continue hearing one another, even if we struggle to find common ground, snatching relevant TV shows off of networks and streamers out of fear and cowardice is the antithesis of what companies should be doing during this terrifying period when American life and even the Constitution are under attack.
That's funny because I remember reading some reviews for Terminalist Dark Wolf, which is the best show on television right now, saying that them talking about ISIS and Iran's nuclear problem was Islamophobic, despite the fact that plenty of the things they were talking about are based on actual things. So if you want to talk about like holding up a mirror to society, either show that things can happen in either direction or step off because you're full of shit.
These hoes.
Look, I got out of line yesterday. I apologize.
Let's read some super chats.
Let's do it.
Dingus Khan of Gongolia said, JD Vance calling Jon Favreau a dipshit on X made my day. I was wondering about that. You said it was a different Jon Favreau?
Yeah, I mean, that's what somebody in the chat said. I didn't confirm on whether that was or not.
I didn't know.
I saw somebody in the chat mention the Jon Favreau being like a different Jon Favreau. Now, they could have just been trolling or it could have been an actual thing. I'm not sure.
JD Vance is a prequel stan, for sure.
I would love that. I mean, I would love to find out later that JD Vance is just really into. Actually, you know what? That's not true. I would like to find out that JD Vance is like into like a different type of sci-fi. Like he's into Babylon 5 or Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Woden Shot said, "Congrats, Brett and Olivia. I hate Shane Davis."
Well, you shouldn't hate Shane Davis, but thank you for for the congratulations. Olivia texted me. She's upset. I meant to do Chloe as cute of the day today, and I forgot. I will do that tomorrow. Or no, I'm sorry, because tomorrow's Thursday. I try to always make sure there's a puppy for when Phil. Friday.
It'll happen. Shane H. Wilder said, "Damn, Woden Shot. It'd be like that." Well, don't think it was about you, Shane, but it was about Shane Davis. I think he just wanted me to say I hate Shane Davis on air.
In the chat, is it Leif Erickson says there's a political Jon Favreau and the popular one. So I'm assuming this was the political.
Oh.
That's funnier, but it's funnier to think of Jon Favreau just being like, you know what? I hate The Mandalorian.
Woden Shot said, "Shane H. Wilder, bro, I had 25 extra characters, had to fill space. OMG, now I have 70 extra characters. I hate Shane Davis so much." I think you're just a fan. Yep. Haters are fans in disguise.
Look, I haven't been on Ballers in a while, but Woden Shot, you are always there in the chat, so you can't tell me you don't love Shane Davis just a little bit.
Yeah. Tyler Fowler said, "It takes $0 to be kind, like being a hater ain't free too."
Yep, that's true.
It costs you $0 to ruin someone's day today.
All right, let's hold off on the rest. Let's move on.
So Kimmel returned to Jimmy Kimmel Live last night with a monologue where he addressed all of the scandal and controversy of the past week. And of course, no one is surprised he broke into tears, as he usually does. This is my primary concern with Jimmy Kimmel, is that he's mentally unstable and clearly needs psychological evaluation. Because no one should be crying this frequently. No grown man should be crying this frequently, and certainly not on television where everyone can see. And he broke into tears almost when he was discussing Charlie Kirk's death, and he was trying to add context to his original comment. His original comment, if you forgot, he said that MAGA supporters have been trying desperately to prove that Charlie Kirk's killer is not one of them.
Yes.
And
he said, was anyone but
one of them.
It was what they call weasel words.
Yes, it went through many layers of legal protection before he actually delivered those words on camera, for a reason. But it was a lie, and it was a vicious lie, and I believe it was meant knowingly to be a lie. I think he knew exactly what he was doing in that moment.
You can't go through many layers of rewriting to make sure that it passes legal muster for it to not be intentional.
Now he walks onto set, and he does this little, "I'm just a little baby" routine. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. I maybe was insensitive, but I didn't lie." So here is the clip of his monologue from last night.
I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Nobody thought you were making light of it. They thought you were lying.
Right.
I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make. But
Catch this, fascist. We have no idea what he meant by that.
It must be a mental health crisis.
I understand that to some that felt
could have been the Tylenol.
Either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. And also selfishly.
Okay. Clapped her.
So he
Tim
expertly skirts around actually issuing an apology or admitting that he was wrong, and then again doubles down, refusing to acknowledge the ideological motivation behind Charlie Kirk's murder.
And Tim pointed out that if you look at the views for his channel, it's like he interviews somebody, 50,000 views, 50,000 views. Trump monologue, 1 million. Trump monologue, 2 million.
He knows what sells.
Yes, they know algorithmically what is going to work for them, and it's the boomers in your local town who are out protesting in hopes of saving democracy.
Well, here's what's really frustrating me about this, especially after I had a conversation with a journalist yesterday. We were talking a totally different language from each other. She was saying, well, how is Jimmy Kimmel's offensive joke any different from Don Jr.'s offensive joke about Paul Pelosi? And you effed up before you even finished the sentence, because no conservatives were saying, how dare Jimmy Kimmel make an offensive joke about Charlie Kirk? That wasn't the point. That was never the controversy. That was never the crux of the issue. No one was mad at him for making an off-color joke about Charlie Kirk. It wasn't a joke. Maybe people laughed when he finished the sentence. That doesn't make it a joke. Yep. And it was a lie. That is what people are pointing out. And that is the argument for an FCC violation. So he's peddling that narrative as well. Like, oh, I'm sorry I made an offensive joke. I didn't know that you conservatives would be offended by an offensive joke, but
snowflakes.
We can all clear up this misunderstanding that we've had. So he does crack another joke in another part of his monologue saying, I'm not sure who had a weirder 48 hours, me or the CEO of Tylenol.
Which, of course, the greatest thing is, like, people are now finding tweets from the Tylenol official X account posting about how you shouldn't take it while pregnant.
That's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother. Look, if you want to look for a crazy meme trend going on right now, go look up all the Tylenol autism memes on Instagram. They're incredible.
In regard to Donald Trump, here is what Jimmy Kimmel had to say during his first show back. He tried his best to cancel me and instead forced millions to watch the show. He might have to release the Epstein files to distract us from this now. That backfired bigly.
Yeah. The way they pretend to care about the Epstein stuff is maybe the most infuriating part of all of it.
They were part of the chorus of media outlets denying that they were real for years up until it became politically expedient
They should start claiming that Trump was involved in Pizzagate.
We have another 20 from Jose Quintana. Congratulations belatedly to the optical overlord and Miss Overlord on your nuptials. Many decades of joy and good health. As for the Ghost Empress, I continue to remain loyal to your reign. Long live the Gongo.
Long may she reign.
So I guess that's a Mrs. Overlord?
Olivia, you are now Mrs. Overlord.
Okay, great.
Congratulations. And if you want to think that it didn't get more political, you're wrong, because, everybody keeps talking about turning down the temperature, but then we have Gavin Newsom saying this.
I fear that we will not have an election in 2028. I really mean that in the core of my soul, unless we wake up to the code red, what's happening in this country, and we wake up soberly to how serious this moment is.
They cannot help themselves. Okay? They cannot help themselves.
My gosh. We have a big super chat here from Derek, I believe. I'm a doctor. Don't take Tylenol. Take the least amount of medications possible. They are all poisons. Well, yep. I don't know if you're actually a doctor, but we'll have to just take you at your word. I'm gonna agree. Yeah, they're truly incorrigible. And Trump responded to the first episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live after the suspension on his Truth Social. He threatened to sue ABC. I can't believe ABC fake news. It gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? He's yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. So again, Trump is doing nothing to help his public image in the eyes of the left.
Himself.
Not that, you know, you have much room to improve with them to begin with, because they are, of course, a cult. But still, it's the same thing that he did with the FCC controversy. He was trying to peddle a narrative that the FCC was responsible for Jimmy Kimmel's suspension, which wasn't true. According to the FCC, according to Sinclair, according to Nexstar, according to ABC. But Donald Trump said that it was the FCC's actions that led to Jimmy Kimmel getting taken off the air. And
brings this on himself.
That is what leads to a comment like the ignorant comment from Gavin Newsom saying that we're living in a fascist dictatorship and we're not going to have elections anymore. Yeah. You know, so that even further inflames the possible extremists at home who are thinking that they have to take radical, disruptive action.
And this is true.
To defend our democracy, no matter what it takes, by any means necessary.
Because beyond that, Gavin Newsom went on to talk about the no mask laws. Just irony to the highest order. No mask, no laws against masking in California for ICE agents. And what happened today? Well, we know exactly what happened today, and it fuels what's going on right now. The other side effect of all of this TDS is that you just become unfunny.
Yeah.
That's the real.
And it's a shame.
I think words can never harm you.
Well, they can harm you now. Let's make sure you pick the right words. Capiche?
Okay, yeah, I guess I capiche, but I don't think... Oh, it sounds like you got a call there, huh?
Hi, handsome. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, Mr. President. Okay. You got it, sir. You got it. Bye.
What did he say?
Look, I got to go. A couple of cases of Tylenol fell off a truck, and now I got to figure out how to put autism in them.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that sounds tricky. So good.
Okay.
Who writes this shit? I guess Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
Yeah, I guess so. Again, this is why the internet is superior now. Like I said, there are all sorts of hilarious memes that are actually memeing what's going on in a funny way.
Right.
Okay? Like, I should have pulled some of them. I sent you a bunch of them last night, but like, there are actual memes being made from, actual funny people on the internet. I think one of my favorites was like taking a bunch of Tylenol PMs so I only have autism at night.
And Ryan Long is also one of those people.
Yes.
That was kind of the point of the interview that I did yesterday, was how the right is responding comedically to this tragedy without dehumanizing the person who is the victim, or the family members or the supporters who are watching it happen. Yep. And it's very easy, actually, if you have a soul. They've lost that long ago.
And look, I haven't seen the ratings yet. I'm sure we will see that soon. I don't know how the effect of having 70 different affiliates not carrying it is going to affect the ratings, but it doesn't even matter because the online viewership is going to be huge for it on when it gets clipped and put on social media. And I don't think Trump helped himself at the end there. I don't think that he's capable of helping himself in these situations.
I also don't think that he's not suing ABC.
No,
he's not going to sue
I mean, even
ABC.
if he's like, it's an arm of the DNC. Like, that's a huge claim, and you're not going to be able to. That's not the same thing as the misrepresentation of the Kamala.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Should we just go to Super Chats?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said Zac Efron AI looks like a telenovela villain. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
That's a tongue twister right there. Telenovela villain.
Telenovela villain.
Shane H. Wilder said she can say it's not sexual because it's just hair brushing. Lady, this is the internet. You ain't fooling anyone. I mean, I agree that, like, technically anything can be sexualized and you can't control that, but you definitely can control whether or not you make an OnlyFans page based on that. Yep. Kiernoth said, I unfortunately learned yesterday Rachel Dolezal, the white woman who was pretending to be black, and I need help bleaching the images for my memory. What images?
What images? I don't want to know.
I don't know. C Chap sent us an emoji, I believe. Hi, thank you. Shane H. Wilder said, Tom Cruise met my cousin while preparing for Born on the 4th of July. He wanted to understand what it was like to become paralyzed as a young adult.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. C Chap said, oh, he just sent us a microphone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chris L. said, Voldemort is a woman. Tom underwent treatment in his final year and transitioned. She started a group and now wants to, everyone else.
Maybe they can remake it, and in it, Hermione goes on wizarding message boards to stop, dark magic villains.
Emma Watson would play a great Savant.
She would.
Now that I think about it.
She could.
She would look good in the big glasses. Chris L. said, crazy the words I had to change in the previous super chat for YouTube to let me submit it.
Well, I wonder which ones.
About Voldemort?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's do one more.
C-Chap said, if the show was about catching left-wing groups, they would have so much content.
Yeah.
I just, they're talking about, the value of this medium of television and storytelling to open people's minds so that they're not in an echo chamber. Who do you think is subscribing to Apple TV Plus and watching The Savant? Probably the same people that watch Jimmy Kimmel Live. You're not opening anyone's mind, okay?
Yeah. Let's hold off on the rest.
You're making them more neurotic.
We will come back.
All right. So it appears bitter feminists still have a hate boner for Henry Cavill. He just posted a selfie with his dog sitting on his couch. Nothing serious. And it prompted a ton of replies about how evil he is. And they believe that he's not just evil on the inside, it's actually coming forward in the outside appearance and making him ugly. This reply to his selfie said, ugly spirits really be catching up to people. I don't know. So they're claiming that he's aging poorly because he is a hateful bigot.
Isn't this some sort of sexism? Aren't we supposed to let everybody age gracefully, and that's ageism? Can you be ageist
only if it's
against
women.
a 45-year-old?
Only if it's women.
Okay.
It only applies to women.
Thank you for correcting
Only
me.
women are allowed to age gracefully without being insulted. But if it's Henry Cavill, he can be bullied all we want. But this picture, I don't know. Let's pick this apart. Is this really a bad picture? Because I'm trying to see what they're seeing, and it just looks like the same Henry Cavill to me.
Looks like the same Henry Cavill you always see.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's he's got the medium length long hair, which literally never looks good.
Yeah, it's not a good look for anybody.
There is a hard, when you want to grow your hair out that long, between, if you want to do the shoulder length hair as a guy, look, all the pro wrestlers do it fine. But when it's here.
Oh my gosh.
I
just imagined what Glenn Powell would look like with shoulder length hair, and I'm disgusted.
It's no guy wants to be
Why does it change so much?
I wonder if it has to do with they got to get extensions. So they're I'm skipping the fuck ass bob stage. I'm going straight to the long hair.
Skipping the fuck ass bob. That's the thing. I think shoulder length hair that you just saw for men is the same thing as fuck ass bob for women.
Oh.
In that it does actually take you lower on the scale of attractiveness instantly. But here was one of the replies asking, wait, what did he do? Because of course this can't possibly be saying that Henry Cavill is unattractive, right? You just have to be delusional to say that. So here were the explanations given. Number one, he said the Me Too movement made him uncomfortable. That one is true. And that was from a GQ interview that he did back in 2018. And I'll read to you what he said. In the interview, I asked Cavill what he has learned from the Me Too moment we're in. This is at the height of it in 2018. I've been fortunate enough to not be around the kind of people who behave that way. To my memory, there has been no moments where I look back and think, okay, maybe someone shouldn't have gone through that. I know there have been situations with people I've worked with being perhaps over familiar with some of the actresses, but I've always walked up to them and said, hey, are you all right? That's creepy. Have the revelations, they ask, made you reflect on your own behavior with women? Henry Cavill says, I like to think that I've never been like that. I think any human being alive today, if someone casts too harsh a light on anything, you could be like, well, okay, when you say it like that, maybe. But it's such a delicate and careful thing to say because there's flirting, which, for example, in a social environment is in context and is acceptable. And that's been done to me as well in return. stuff has to change, absolutely. Addressing men's behavior, he says this. It's important to retain the good things which were a quality of the past and get rid of bad things. There's something wonderful about a man chasing a woman. There is a traditional approach to that, which is nice. I think a woman should be wooed and chased, but maybe I'm old-fashioned for thinking that. It's very difficult to do that if there are certain rules in place, because then it's like, well, I don't want to go up and talk to her because I'm going to be called a rapist or something. So you're like, forget it, I'm going to call an ex-girlfriend instead, and then just go back into a relationship, which never really worked. But it's way safer than casting myself into the fires of hell because I'm someone in the public eye, and if I go and flirt with someone, then who knows what's going to happen. Now, you really can't pursue someone further than no. It's like, okay, cool. But then there's, oh, why'd you give up? And it's like, well, because I didn't want to go to jail.
We just talked about this recently about the women who are like, why do guys just give up after once now? And every guy's like, are you crazy? You're the ones who told us not to do that.
Well, Henry Cavill is the one who I believe is at liberty to say that because he's Henry Cavill, and he is making these statements about what it's like to be someone in the public eye, a man in the public eye, by the way, at the height of the Me Too movement. We're talking about 2018, not 2025, after, for the most part, people have woken up to the nonsense. Henry Cavill, definitely it makes sense that he would say this has changed my approach to flirting.
They were mad at him just because he dated Gina Carano.
If you're a man in 2025 who isn't famous or in a public figure position whatsoever, I don't think that you're not approaching women because you're afraid of going to jail, okay? That's ridiculous, and I stand by that is, for the most part, a noble excuse that is less embarrassing than I was afraid to talk to a woman. And that's understandable too, because the younger generations are very poorly socialized, and women are bitches a lot of the time.
I think the jail argument is a little...
Social media is a thing.
I think the jail argument is a little bit... From the people who make that argument, it's a little bit of a straw man. Because I think it's more about being shamed on social media. Not even always necessarily by name.
He said, I don't want to go to jail. That's all I'm saying.
Again, I think today it's more like women use TikTok and these platforms as like a diary for their bad experiences. Sure. And you see all sorts of, and then you get the stuff. It's not necessarily about being named and shamed. It's about like the woman then goes back later and makes a video about your poor interaction. And even if she doesn't name who you are, it's still you'd be aghast.
But we're
at
still
somebody describing it.
Fundamentally, what we're still talking about there with shaming, that's a fear of humiliation and a fear of rejection at its core. It's not a fear of catching a case. It's not a fear of getting wrongfully arrested and going to prison for talking to a woman in a bar or something.
And look, the Henry Cavill discussion, it's because, look, it's partially that. It's the stuff about The Witcher.
Exactly.
And telling
this was
you to
the next
support
reply.
The fans. Okay.
He's been dog whistling to the Gamergate demographic for a while
because he built a computer shirtless and then said that I think that, fans are, they're not mean, they're passionate.
That's a dog whistle.
Yes.
He never said anything directly, except for the Me Too comment, but he's signaling to the PC Master Race and Warhammer 40k crowd, which are both pretty racist communities, basically people who watch Asmongold.
So is that the whistling dog that they're talking about?
That is the dog that is whistling.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
Another reply said, he is known for going after younger girls. Supposedly his team had to set him up with an 18-year-old because they know he was going after younger.
Again, they're just saying that. Like, it's crazy how much people will just lie.
He had a relationship with a 19-year-old for about a year when he was like 38, but IDK, if anything else. He is currently 42.
And he's married?
He is not married.
They have a kid.
But they
just had a child.
Yeah, they have a child. He is in a relationship now. But I looked into that, and I didn't know this. Henry Cavill was in a public relationship with Tara King, who was 19 when they started dating in 2015, making him 32 at the time. This was a decade ago. The couple attracted media attention and scrutiny due to their 13-year age gap, which Cavill, defending the relationship, stated that while age is a sign of maturity, his partner was fantastic. This was his comment. People say age is just a number. It's actually real and a true sign of someone's maturity. But in this case, when I met my girlfriend, I was super intimidated. I wanted to impress her. And he said also there was more furor around his relationship with Marissa Gonzalo, who was 21, who he dated a year before meeting Tara King, who was 19.
And he dated Gina Carano, and they were mad about that because it's Gina Carano.
Because it's Gina Carano, yeah. But that was before
Yes.
Gina Carano's cancellation, right?
Yes. Yeah, but it's used retroactively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're ever going to reconnect.
Yeah. Well, is she married? She's
Gina?
been in a relationship
know.
for like a long time with the same person, if I remember correctly.
Gina Carano seems like the type of person who would like guard her personal life very fiercely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we might never know. But yeah, as for the claims that Henry Cavill is mid now, it's just as ridiculous as the claims that Sydney Sweeney is mid, and the claims that Margot Robbie is mid, and I mean, who else? It's been countless examples at this point. You're just calling someone mid because you hate them.
Yeah. Also, it's like I will say this. It's like not the greatest photo. It's at an awkward length.
I guess.
He's like
You're Henry Cavill. Have you ever thought about making a flattering angle in a selfie before?
He doesn't have to. He's like I wake up and it's flattering. So it's
his
like, I
life
don't
is
have
a
to.
flattering angle.
You know, it's it is, however, endearing to know that they can have this debate about men as well.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
it doesn't just have
It
to
goes
be
both
Margot
ways.
Robbie every 6 months about whether Margot Robbie is mid or not. And I suppose that shines a light on the men too. The women are like, well, if Margot Robbie's mid, then what the hell am I? I have to be like, well, if Henry Cavill is mid, then what the hell am I?
True. It's a two-way street.
Two-way street.
Let's finish
All
up
right.
with super chats. Not that Jon Stewart said, everyone I hate is the funny mustache man.
A guide to political discourse.
Yeah, this one. 200 Watt Studio said there is a political strategist named Jon Favreau, not the same guy as the director.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm assuming that's who Vance was calling a dipshit. Black Nexus said Kimmel did exactly what they accused Alex Jones of doing. I demand a $1.5 billion settlement against him. That's the precedence they set, right? That would only be fair, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Yeah, I mean, even with Alex Jones, was the claim defamation? Or what was the...
I don't even remember. Does anybody remember what the claim was? Like what the actual like settled lawsuit or the ruling was for?
Yeah. Well, that was obvious lawfare. Red Toaster 88 said Shane H. Wilder single-handedly supporting PCP. LOL.
Well, he
not
shouldn't be
supporting
doing PCP. That stuff's bad for you.
But that's not true. We have plenty of you in the chat. Corey Anderson said, I bet Emma Watson is boring in real life and has no hobbies. No, I think that she has like way too many hobbies and not enough jobs.
It's like, yeah, like she bought a pony one day.
Sure.
And,
Yeah. She probably likes pickleball or like badminton to be more British.
Yeah, I don't know.
She probably likes horseback riding, maybe finger painting as well. Watercolors.
I think she was really into Wordle when Wordle was big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. She's probably into reading like a lot of self-help and manifestation books.
Did she post the picture of her knee, like a book on her knee every day? Like
if Emma Watson started a book club, that would do great numbers. That's actually now like the meta with celebrities of her ilk, starting an online book club and like having people pay a subscription fee to be in your book club.
That's insane.
Who was it that did that? Was it Olivia Wilde? There are plenty of examples.
It wasn't
like,
Olivia.
This has been
I know you're talking about.
A lot of celebrities have done this now, but Emma Watson should jump on that trend. Corey Anderson said Henry Cavill and Jim Caviezel are the same person.
No.
They don't look the same.
They don't look the same to me.
They don't even look similar, in my opinion.
The funny thing
totally different phenotype.
The funny thing about Jim Caviezel is like, because everything I've ever seen him in, he's a bad guy or a person of interest. He like never smiles, so the few times you see him smile, his face looks completely different. Like his entire face changes when he smiles because it just never happens.
Well, Henry Cavill is what they call what is it now?
Is there a name for the?
Well, they're like ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph, right?
Okay.
How tall is Henry Cavill? Do you know?
I don't. What, he's like 6'2"? Somebody in the chat now?
Let's see. He is
6'1".
Okay, 6'1".
At least according to Google.
Well, I'm just gonna go based off of his face. His face is very square. and that would make him an endomorph, I believe.
I'm gonna need somebody need to Photoshop Henry Cavill with a fade. That's what it is. He has Henry Cavill has old school hairstyles.
Henry Cavill with waves and AirPods.
Give him a broccoli cut.
Jim Caviezel is 6'2". Okay, he's actually slightly taller, but Jim Caviezel's face is like narrower, so he's like an ectomorph. I think.
And he's older by like what, a decade at least?
Maybe, yeah. He's aged well though.
Yeah.
You're an endomorph, I believe.
I don't even know what that means. What is endomorph? He's 56, so he's 14 years older than Henry Cavill?
Yeah. I was confused earlier. I was like, is Henry Cavill Gen X or millennial? But he's like one of the youngest Gen Xers.
Yeah.
Red Toaster 88 said, "Is that Mary's real hair color?" Yes. Shane H. Wilder said, "Brett, you asked me to remind you about the cards, so I'm doing that now before I forget. I believe in you, bro."
So
tonight,
not even
Wednesday night,
not even
it's
just
happening.
that, bro. But like last night, because I got done with post production, and I was like, I hope there's Taco Bell over there. But I was like, in my mind, I need to make up an excuse to go look for it. So I'm like,
what?
I'm gonna go look for the taco because I don't need the Taco Bell. But if I'm going to bring these cards over,
you're
to
running an
Tim,
errand.
If I'm running an
Yeah.
errand, it's okay. This is the way my brain works, and this is why I'm gonna die young. Like I'm like, look, I'm gonna bring these cards over there, and if there's Taco Bell, so be it.
Huh.
There was
Who knew?
there was no Taco Bell. Broke my heart. I went all the way upstairs to look. I felt like a trash panda, just like searching around, and there was
That's
none
sad.
there. It made me.
They must have eaten like all of it in 30 minutes. That's crazy.
Usually when he orders the Taco Bell or some type of food, there's always a bunch left over, at least for a little bit.
I didn't eat any of it. Because there's a rule around here, an unspoken rule that there can only be Taco Bell around if Mary can't have any.
That's pretty true.
Rule number one at TCast.
Next week, when you're gone, they're going to be like,
Oh, it's going to be Taco Bell every damn day.
Taco Bell
yeah.
Palooza.
Yeah, it's going to be Taco Bell every day.
I suppose we should announce that because I don't know if we let everybody know. You will be gone.
Did we?
I don't think we have.
Oh, okay. Guys, I am going to be headed out of town starting after Friday's show. So I'm going to be here for the remainder of the week. And then I'll be returning on, what was it?
The 2nd. Or the Tuesday. The following Tuesday.
October 7th.
Yes.
Tuesday, October 7th. And Tate is going to be taking my place.
I'm debating on what to do Wednesday because both Phil and Tate aren't available. I kicked around the idea of maybe doing like a Q&A, like no set structure to the show, but just take questions. Not do 2 hours, but just do an hour. Maybe even like if there's a big topic in the news that day, do one such, because usually I'd record videos anyways.
Well, what you should do if you do that is like get some questions from Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
And the super chats.
Yeah. Well, I'd say like the point would be like it doesn't have to be a super chat. Like take whatever questions. It doesn't have to be something that somebody has to pay for to ask. But I'm still debating on that. If not that, at the very least, I'll pre-record videos that day. But it would be interesting to do a Q&A.
Brett sleep stream.
That's such a good idea. That's such a good idea.
I bet that would go crazy.
I would love
it. Would just depend on how well you can sleep through the crisis parties.
Yes. How many crisis parties to wake Brett up?
I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. I could ignore anything.
Yeah.
Not that John Stewart said mid 20th century failed Austrian painter. Haha. Really original.
In the chat, Moon at Noon says, I'm going to die of withdrawal because you're going to be gone, I think.
You'll be fine. You'll live.
You'll have to get, there's like a Mary Suboxone to deal with your cravings.
I don't like that. Corey Anderson said, Henry Cavill can play the Crimson Chin. You think that's in the cards for Henry Cavill? Whatever happened to the Warhammer series, though?
I mean, he's in the middle of Highlander right now, but again, he's injured right now. The whole point was like they showed that picture of him when he took that selfie, and there was another picture of him with the cast on his leg, and they're like, this is why he looks like shit right now because he's literally injured, and y'all are judging him.
How dare they? He has to put a garbage bag around his leg when he goes in the shower, and you're making fun of him on Twitter. Corey Anderson said Mary is getting married. So the funny thing is, I'm not, but if I were, I'd also say that I'm not. Yeah. So you're not going to believe me anyway.
They're going to know. They're not going to
Yeah.
know. They're going to know. They're not going to know.
Do we have any Rumble rants?
No, we are all caught up, but we've got time. Like we did, and we did 6 today. We did 6 full topics today.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. I wonder what conversation they're having over on Rumble, which is always a lot more unhinged than the YouTube chat, as we know.
What are they saying?
I need some... DJ Dubs says, I need some PCC love, my brothers and sisters. My car was broken into last night. Praise that they catch these lefty cucks. I mean, was there like a dude sitting in a chair watching the car getting broken into? How do you know it was lefty cucks breaking into your car?
Yeah, I don't think that was politically motivated. But yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. Thanks for tuning in. I had my car opened and like kind of ransacked once.
Current car or previous car?
Previous, but I was in a neighborhood at the time, and there were like car pickers going around all of the streets, and ended up seeing a post on Nextdoor. Is that what it's called?
Never heard of it.
The neighbor like forum, you know?
Oh, okay. I'm not into that. So like Olivia loves like keeping up with like the neighborhood Facebooks and like what's going on. I'm like, bro, we could have a terrorist cell in this neighborhood, and unless I saw them with my own eyes, I'd have no idea what was going on.
You should keep up with the Frederick subreddit.
No.
There's some real brain rot in there.
I bet. Like we have one like just for our town, you know, because like individual cities can have their own not subreddits, but like their own Facebook groups. And so like we Olivia this week is in charge of looking after some of the neighborhood cats, because the lady who's officially in charge of looking after some of the neighborhood cats, who does volunteer work like bringing food to all of them, she's like out of town, and she put like Olivia in charge of it this week. But like, so there was always 3 cats that hung out at City Hall down there. We called them Little One, Panther, and I don't even remember what the third one's name was.
R.I.P. Little One.
R.I.P. Little One. And the first one went away first, and I just told Lily, I'm like, it went on a trip. It went to California. It got the hobo stick with the stick.
Oh, a
and
bindle.
a bindle. I was like, it grabbed its hobo stick.
That's an important word.
And it was like, I'm going to California. Like it didn't go to the big
California.
It went to California. But then Little One, I'm like, it joined the other one in California. But Olivia had to know, because this happened like when we got back from the honeymoon. She's like, where's Little One? And she went and found that it had since gone to the big cat tower in the sky. And that was very sad. So now just Panther is hanging out down there. So she brings Panther food. I mean, really what it is like every night she's like, when you get home, we're going to go walk down and deliver Panther his food.
What if it was Panther that did it?
No, they always got along. They to the point where we started putting them, because Olivia would spoil them. She'd bring them wet food, like not even just kibble, like wet food, and they could even eat from the same container without fighting with each other. We started separating it so that they can have their own. But it is sad that Little One has since moved on. We love that cat. And there in our whole area, we have Kitty Anna Jones, who hangs out in another part of town. There's so many of them all over.
And they're names that you gave them?
We give them those.
Okay.
Panther's real name apparently is Vincent, but we don't call him Vincent. We call him Panther.
Shane H. Wilder said, very few know the word bindle, and they should, though.
I did not know that word.
It's important.
I mean, the only time I've ever heard the word bindle used is in drug context, so.
Oh, what does it mean in drug
context? It's like it's a vial. It's used, it's terminology in drugs.
Darn.
Just saying.
Kind of tarnished the
Yeah, it has,
reputation.
hobo stick is the only thing I'd ever heard that thing referred to as. Yeah. Somebody said, damn, Panther's a killer cat. Panther is not a killer cat. Panther is amazing. And Panther is wary too. Like Panther won't even get super close until you put the food out. So Panther's already making sure that he's looking after herself. And Little One was never bothering anyone. Little One always kept to herself. We love that about her.
What if we did a poll?
Okay, what do you want to do? We give people a heads up about things that we're going to be talking about tomorrow, because Violet Affleck is back in the news.
Yeah.
You
We're
guys are gonna
saving
love
that for Phil.
Yeah. Alejandro Reyes says, what are the chances the state would prosecute you for defending your car with a certain tool?
Is this referring to the guy that shot those teenagers?
I have no idea.
I forget the context there, but this guy, it was only like a month ago that was happening, right? There was this guy that was getting his car broken into. Like there were these teenagers trying to steal his car.
that was the guy who chased
he
after.
flew off the handle and like chased after them.
Yeah,
and
that
killed
was
them.
that was. I mean, that was never going to be defensible.
Or like killed one of them and not the other. Or something.
He chased after them like there was no immediate threat in his
Crazy.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's what you're referring to,
yes,
your chances of being prosecuted
are very high.
100%, and they should be.
They already want to prosecute you in a lot of these states, even if you're defending inside your own home.
Marry top 5 most attractive guys in entertainment. That's really tough.
What did you say earlier? You're like, Henry Cavill isn't ugly, and I don't normally say that.
I said Henry Cavill isn't even mid or like ugly, and you'd rarely hear that from me.
Yep.
But top 5 attractive guys in entertainment is tough because they're so weird looking now. It's like that's on purpose that they're doing this to us.
Like the type of guy who makes it in the industry is by definition not.
At this point, yeah, kind of. That goes for all of the talent. But let me think. I'm not even going to go on right now because right now I can't think of anybody. But an all-timer is Christian Slater pre-Twink Death. Who else? Gosh. Putting me on the spot here. I would say Heath Ledger.
Okay.
Who else?
How does Heath Ledger's physiognomy compare to Henry Cavill? Don't they have kind of the same chin?
Do they?
I feel like in my mind they have the same chin,
Wait,
but I could just be imagining.
You mean they have a butt chin?
Yeah, kind of.
Hold on. Let me see. No.
No?
Wait, maybe? He had like a beard covering his chin for a bit there, but no, it doesn't look like he has a butt chin.
Okay.
He never had a butt chin.
I mean, the thing is, I don't think of Henry. When I think of Heath Ledger in this context, I don't think of the Joker. I think of 10 Things I Hate About You.
What do I think of?
Which is obviously when he was younger.
Yeah. I guess he didn't really have a chance to kind of like build the career he was going to have.
Yeah.
If he lived till now. So there's 2. Let me think. This is tough. Like, I don't know, Brett, do you have any ideas, or would that be gay? Would that make you gay?
I don't have any. I mean, look, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Zac Efron.
No. I never thought Zac Efron was cute. Actually, when I was a kid, and this is normal because I was a kid, I had a crush on like the Sprouse twins, but more so Dylan Sprouse than Cole Sprouse.
Okay. Somebody mentioned Val Kilmer.
No.
No?
What?
No?
Why? Like currently?
No. Well, Val Kilmer's not alive anymore.
I mean, like the way that he looked in like Top Gun Maverick.
They're talking because you said all time, so they're talking like Val Kilmer when
we're talking about his prime. Yeah.
We're talking Heat Val Kilmer. Christopher Shirless.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
And I'm not saying I'm like representative of like the popular female opinion on this stuff. But
Man Bear Cow TV says Jason Statham.
Let me look him up and just remind myself.
Like if we're just ignoring the hairline?
Yeah, I don't know. He's just kind of like a blank slate to me. He doesn't have many defining features.
So I recently was watching, there was a 2012 TV show based on The Transporter with Jason Statham, but of course, like all the TV shows that were made about movies, they could never actually get the actor from the original movie to be in it, so they have to recast as somebody else, and they recast with this actor named Chris Vance, who I will always know as like the season 3 mid-level bad from Burn Notice, British guy, and he does this amazing interpretation of like the character's like stance in the movies, which is where he stands very straight when he fights. Like he sticks out his chest and his shoulders are up like this. It's the most unrealistic fighting style you've ever seen in your entire life. And the whole show is him like looking like he's studying game tape on how Jason Statham looked in those movies. It's kind of amazing, actually.
Maybe I would have to see him in motion.
Yeah, you'd have to see both.
To have an informed opinion on his attractiveness. Yeah, guys, I'm drawing a blank.
Somebody mentions young Brendan Fraser.
Okay,
fun fact. So again, when I always say that people can never tell when I'm kidding, even when I break down and use tone indicators, which I do sometimes. I tweeted last Friday, watching this masterpiece, laughing face emoji, and it was the 2009 G.I. Joe movie starring Channing Tatum, right, and Marlon Wayans. And I didn't realize that Brendan Fraser was in that movie for like a blink of an eye.
I am looking at young Brendan Fraser. You know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him. It's just like, I don't know, not my type.
Somebody said Paul Walker. Another person mentions Bruce Campbell. So I was watching the recent episode, or the recent X-Files review that JB Spooky Reviews did. You should go subscribe to his YouTube channel if you're not subscribed there already. And because it's an episode from the X-Files from like season 6 with Bruce Campbell in it. And it struck me how much young Bruce Campbell actually, at least in this still image, kind of looked like Jeffrey Donovan, who he played alongside in the show Burn Notice.
Okay, I have another hot take now.
Okay.
Might be Aaron Paul, but only as Jesse Pinkman.
Okay.
Maybe it's the wigger energy.
Okay.
There's something about that.
I love watching old TV. He shows up in every. If you love old boomer TV, he shows up in literally everything.
But it's not Aaron Paul. Like, it's definitely just the character.
Yeah.
But him playing it. I can't come up with anything else.
None?
I'm not really the like celebrity crush type. Cause like even though Robert Pattinson is like handsome,
yes, continue.
I wouldn't call him a celebrity crush of mine. I just like Twilight, you know.
When I was on my when I was on my honeymoon, I sent Olivia these pictures, or I'm sorry, I sent Mary these pictures of the Twilight wax figures. And me and Olivia just could not stop laughing at how much neither of no character looked. I mean,
like,
none of them.
Were they gonna get sued if they looked too much like the actors or something?
I don't think so. Like, I can't. Like, what's the point of having a wax museum if you can't even have them to look like them? But they didn't look like Robert Pattinson or what's her name at all.
You know what I would want to do? I would like the part of me that you know would end up in jail would want to steal the clothes off of the Kristen Stewart wax figure because I love those clothes that she wears in the movie.
You're like, honestly, worth it.
Yeah, might be. Shane H. Wilder said, oh no, this is from Alejandro Reyes. What are the chances the state would prosecute you? Oh, we already read that one too. Corey Anderson, what perfume do you wear, Mary?
Do you wear perfume?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't know if it feels like an invasive question. Why do you want to know how I smell?
It does kind of, doesn't it?
I have no idea why I shouldn't answer it, but oh my gosh. I remember there was a time like somewhat recently where a guy asked me that question in real life and he was trying to be like very suave but didn't know like how it came across. And yeah, you know what, I'll just say. I said YSL Mon Paris, and then I was like walking away from him. And he said like, oh, Yves Saint Laurent. I'm familiar. And then he started like talking about his cologne. Like, I'm more a fan of the whatever. What was he? I don't even know what he was saying.
So he was just like trying to impress you with the fact that he knew how to pronounce the brand name?
Literally, yes.
Yeah. And
I'm like, doesn't that like kind of code gay to most women anyway?
It's like, wouldn't you be more like freaked out if I did know these things?
Another totally different situation. different person. I put on sunglasses when I walked out of a building, and I have these like Chanel sunglasses, and this guy, he goes, "Ooh, Chanel." Like, what is with these guys? Like, what are they talking about designer brands for?
Wait, is this supposed to be like some weird version of the what did we talk about a couple of weeks ago? What type of guy is it? The performative male?
Is it a performative?
Is that like some weird sign of being a performative male?
Not quite.
Broody Gambit on Rumble says, "Would you rather eat only Taco Bell for 1 year or not eat any Taco Bell for 5 years?"
Wait, what is the question again?
Would you rather eat only Taco Bell for 1 year?
For a year?
For a year, or no Taco Bell for 5 years?
Wow, that's tough. What would you do?
I mean, I could live without Taco Bell.
Is it free?
Like, I could.
It sounds like the Taco Bell is free.
I could live without Taco Bell, so that wouldn't hurt. It's like those things where it's like, could you live for a month? Like with only like.
Wait, but if he's saying Taco Bell for a year, do I still have to pay for the Taco Bell?
You'll have to clarify.
Clarify
Here's in the chat.
If I don't have to pay for it and I get to pick out what I eat, and like how much I eat, then yes. If I have to pay for it, it's a no. Then I would just go 5 years without it. But you know, that stuff adds up. It's still the cheapest fast food, but.
Yeah.
Leisha said, "Come on, Mary, just pick some cuties, LOL." I'm trying. I'm just being as honest as I possibly can be. Because for the most part, like, I'm just the type of person that doesn't really have celebrity crushes.
Yeah.
Greg Duvier said Taylor Lautner. Not for me. Like, I can at once recognize in the same way that a heterosexual man can recognize that, you know, a man is technically attractive. Mm-hmm. But personally, do I feel some type of way about it? Not really.
Is his wife, whose name is Taylor Lautner, spelled the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Narcissist. Greg Duvier said, Team Edward or Team Jacob? I have a hipster answer to this. I'm Team Edward for Bella. But for normal women, I would be Team Jacob. Because he's like fun and...
I've never seen it, so I have no idea.
Like, he likes, you know, he has like hobbies. No, not saying, maybe yeah, that's wrong. Edward has like 24 hours a day. He has plenty of hobbies. But Jacob just always seemed like more fun to be around. He's like not as depressive. So most women would like to be around Jacob.
Fair enough.
And also he dies. Like,
what did you say?
Sorry, he doesn't die in the movie. I just mean that Edward never dies and Jacob is going to die, so you don't have to worry about dying in order to be with him.
Is there a psychological implication to who you pick? Like you said earlier, you said who you support in Gossip Girls, in the show Gossip Girl for women, is like there's a psychological explanation to it. Is that true for Twilight as well? Like, does it say something about you to be Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I mean, Team Edward is always winning, though. Like, I feel like Team Edward was always the default.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, because I wasn't, like, around for the heyday.
Okay.
But very few people were Team Jacob. But for Gossip Girl, the rivalries between Serena van der Woodsen and Blair Waldorf, and Blair is the type A queen bee bitch, and Serena is the messy party girl who's like so stupid and crazy, and she's late for everything. So depending on which one you identify more with, it says a lot about you as a woman. Corey Anderson said Brett is oddly handsome like a Picasso. Is that supposed to be a backhanded compliment?
Backhand full of knuckles.
Damn.
With that compliment. Thank you for that, Corey.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
It wasn't about you. Not that Jon Stewart said, damn it, Corey. Corey Anderson said, you're welcome. Not that John. Okay.
You know what?
Glad you said
Picasso is a very, very famous person, so...
Corey
take it.
Anderson said, anyone playing Borderlands 4, what's your thoughts?
That would be interesting if anybody in the chat is.
I'm sure a lot of people listen to us while playing video games.
I imagine that is true.
Sound off if that's you.
Yeah, that's very much.
But we're not gamers. A lot of people get frustrated with us
because we don't cover gaming.
for
news.
first of all not covering video games on the show, but also for just not being gamers.
Yeah,
in general.
I have vintage video game systems, and I do break them out from time to time, but not for any level of like I'm not doing full game playthroughs or anything. Like I have like an N64 that works. I have an old Sega that works. I have an old like original NES that works, and that's about the extent of what I spend my time on with gaming. And even when it's the N64, which gets the most time from me, it's like replaying Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, which I love.
Corey Anderson said Corey Feldman gets a lot of hate, but he isn't that bad of a musician. I didn't even know that Corey Feldman was a musician.
I did not either.
Alejandro Reyes said, I got this secondhand from a friend, but here is an insult for everyone to use. I bet you're glad Jimmy Kimmel is back. Oh, that's on the tier of like, I don't care that you hit your elbow. Like that's gonna send someone into years of therapy.
I mean, I perceive it differently. It feels like one of those memeable, like the ones that the boomer meme accounts will get onto, like the one that's always, it resurfaces every so often, says, I have a new favorite insult. You sound vaccinated.
Whoa.
You're like,
you really got them, Granny.
Your right-wing uncle loves that one.
Boomers just across the political spectrum, need to get off of Facebook. Spend time with your grandkids and stop going on doom scrolling Facebook. Not that John Stewart said, I'm currently managing democracy, Helldivers 2. Was it true what anyone was saying about the Tyler Robinson Helldivers references? Because I didn't have a context for that.
I don't know.
Shane H. Wilder said, the dudes asking about perfume and glasses seem gay. Very, very gay. You know, I try to give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just thinking that it makes them seem cultured and suave.
Yes.
Right?
Like
but
the
I
coiffed
just,
hair.
I put the sunglasses on and he was like, I cannot like describe to you like the tone of voice. It was like, he was literally like, oh, Chanel. And I'm like, what, is this a come on or are you gay?
There was a reference in a TV show to the shoe brand Giuseppe Zanotti, and I remember that for the rest of my life.
It's a real brand.
I know, and I still, so I can still like clock that, and
Okay.
it just made me laugh because I'm like, who, like, if a dude knew that for any reason other than my weirdly autistic remembering of TV show references,
Well,
it's weird.
Not to spill old tea, but you said you dated a shoe diva and you knew a lot of shoe brands.
Well, yeah, because I dated a shoe diva, a woman who's really into shoes.
They're called
It's-
shoe divas.
Yeah, I think. But that was, you know.
Manolo Blahnik. I don't know if I said that right.
Yeah.
Alejandro Reyes said it came from a friend's autistic coworker that she is not a fan of, so who knows how it was intended.
Okay.
Well, they're creative. Now that John Stewart said, yes, you can call in an airstrike, and that was the command code from the game.
Oh.
What was? Catch this fascist?
Which one was it? You'll have to let us know.
The other one was just like the furry reference, right?
The in an E7 in the chat says it's called a sneakerhead, Bert. No, that's dudes are
Those are
sneakerheads. I guess
dudes.
women can be sneakerheads too, but less
Rare.
common. less common.
No, the women are called shoe divas, I swear. But that really now refers to a whole like aesthetic in and of itself.
Broody Gambit says, I am really enjoying Borderlands 4. He did not clarify unless it's up there farther about his Taco Bell Super Rumble rant. And then Grunmeister says, should degenerates...
What are we? Don't get us in trouble now.
Should degenerates be allowed to live their debauchery-filled lives as long as they don't encourage others to live it, or should it be illegal?
Brett, we already know your answer, but what's your answer?
You already know my answer. I don't care. I don't care what you do with your debaucherous. The other thing is, though, for me, is like, it's kind of like the extension of like when women talk about how like men don't concern themselves with like certain details, where the girl's like, oh, your friend, he broke up with his girlfriend? Like, oh, what happened? I don't know. So it's like somebody's like, I do this crazy shit in my free time. I'm like, okay. And then I don't think about it ever again. Ever. Unless it comes up in another context. And then I'm like, that's why I'm going to live longer than all of you. Because I'm not concerning myself with whether people are doing
Oh, no, I'm not stressed out about it. I just want them to go to jail.
But plenty of other ones, they're stressed out about it.
But you guys already knew that that was my take. Shane H. Wilder said, can we change Crybaby to Cry Kimmel?
Well, I mean, I think Crying Kimmel is what.
Crying Kimmel. It needs to be Crying Kimmel.
With like like the apostrophe.
Yeah. Jose Quintana said, one of the most beautiful women in entertainment ever, Sherilyn Fenn, Ghost Empress. That's not really your hair color, is it? Long live PCC. It is my real hair color, and I don't care what anyone says. Sherilyn Fenn, I've never heard of her. Corey Anderson said, what is the longest you have gone without a shower as an adult? What's your answer? I don't really know. It's not that I have ever counted.
That does not happen. I shower a lot.
You kind of do like too much from the sound of it.
No,
you do like.
I mean, it's because I skate, so it's like it's like.
You said once you showered like 3 times in a day.
Well, okay, so got up, went and skated, showered, came home, went back out, skated again, showered, and then I think we went out that night and did something, and it was the middle of summer, so it was hot as hell out. So you come home and you're kind of gross. I'm not going to bed gross.
Sure.
So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I've ever kept count of that. Not that John Stewart said, catch this F and then the directions.
Okay, so he's saying that was
the reference to Helldivers. Well, that's what people were using to say that it was ironic and that he didn't actually mean like that Charlie Kirk is a fascist. I'm still not sure what to make of that. Corey Anderson said, for me, it was 2 weeks in Afghanistan when they could get the water truck to come onto the FOB. Good times, very smelly, very sticky, and dusty.
Doesn't sound fun.
Do not envy you. Corey Anderson.
Oh, he's saying couldn't.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a typo there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a crisis party coming, guys. So that's probably going to come in either before we sign off or during the outro. But I want to thank you guys all again for joining us today, as always. And would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here already. Please go ahead and subscribe.
Guys, you can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived. And if you go to my Twitter, my X rather, or my Instagram, you will see I have posted a link to my recent discussion with Tammy Peterson. It's currently on her channel as of yesterday.
All right. And then there's one more here from Jose Quintana. Says, Brett, Twin Peaks for Sherilyn Fenn reference. Not taking a shower? 4 days, I think.
Let me see who Sherilyn Fenn is. Oh, she plays, I don't even remember her character now. Audrey Horne in Twin Peaks. Yeah, she's pretty.
All right. And there's one more there from Greg Duvier.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
He took over turtle duty today.
Again, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you've not subscribed here yet already. If you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on X at Brett Dastovic on both of those platforms. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, we would also like you to rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is another great way to help the channel out. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at popculturecrisis, Instagram at popculturecrisisPod. So one more there.
Corey Anderson said Jimmy Kimmel got suspended and brought back before we got GTA 6.
Yeah, maybe the most annoying part about all of that, they were like, after his long-held absence of 2 days.
Yeah.
All right.
How could we ever survive?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned for a post-credit crisis party, and we will be back with another episode tomorrow. See you then. Don't even have to do it. Perfect
Never
timing.
mind.
That might be the best timing ever.
We're so close. Thank you, guys.
Right there. Okay. All right. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.